Hello, everybody, and welcome to season 3 of the Nocturnal Witch podcast. I'm so excited. I am so much more prepared for this season. Um, Minus the fact that I'm literally recording this the night before, even though I meant to record it like a week ago and like have these pre-recorded because I am super busy now working a full-time job on top of doing my client work and running my business. But nonetheless, we are getting through this. We are doing it. It is fine. It is Gucci. We are good. Other than that, as you know, I'm the owner of the business Nocturnal Witchcraft. A link to my website to book a reading or spell work from me will be down below in the description. So, as I was planning topics for this season, I kind of realized that I feel like I've never really talked about what witchcraft technically is. So that's going to be today's episode. So, the Google definition, the old definition is from Google, is the practice of magic, especially for evil purposes. And then the modern definition on Google for witchcraft is a religious practice involving magic, affinity with nature, usually within pagan tradition. And I'm going to be completely honest with you. Both of those can be true or are true. There are witches out there who do practice for evil purposes with evil intent, but not all of them do. And it's not as common as people actually think it is. How I personally define witchcraft: a spiritual practice involving magic, nature, and a personal or group energy. And I also define it as like a spiritual kind of lifestyle. It's not necessarily just a belief system, it's quite literally a whole lifestyle. Like a lot of the daily rituals that I do um revolve around my practice. Like it heavily influences my daily life. Um and as so it does for lots of other witches and even spiritual practitioners and stuff. The same can also be said for a lot of Christians, a lot of Muslims, a lot of Hindus, you know. Witchcraft in it itself isn't necessarily evil. It's not inherently evil. It all depends on how you use it. And like I said, there are people out there who definitely use it for evil. And I'm not going to deny that. But I'm not one of them. I don't plan on being one of them. I'm not interested in being one of them. But you also can't stop people from doing what they want to do. But some myths about witchcraft and witches is something that I also wanted to get into this episode, as to kind of go into like what witchcraft is, especially from someone who is a witch who has been practicing for about 8.5, almost 9 years. We're coming up on 9 years, which is absolutely crazy to me. It makes me feel old. Like I'm 22 years old. Like I should not be feeling this old, but it's okay. Anyways, so the first myth that I have, of course, it's so super common. All witches worship the devil. Now, I will not lie. Again, there are witches out there who believe and worship the devil. Those types of witches 100% exist. However, that is a very specific type of witch, and not everyone who is a witch follows that path. I personally do not believe that the devil exists. I believe that there is evil. I believe that there are evil people. If there's evil people, there are evil entities and evil energies. However, I will always set protections and wards against that evil. I do not work with it. I have no intention of working with it. Um, and it's not my thing. It is not my thing. But most witches, including myself, of course, follow a nature-based path, following the moon phases, the seasons, the Sabbaths, the almanac, things like that. And it holds no relation or connection to the devil or anything evil. Like, and I personally, I don't worship any deities. I have a very unique outlook on witchcraft, especially revolving around Christianity and stuff. And I'm sorry if you can hear any like crinkling. I have this like drop cloth on my bed so my cat doesn't keep scratching my mattress, and he's currently walking on it right now, of course. So I'm sorry if you can hear that in the background. But shit, what was I saying? Oh, but yeah, like I have a very, very specific, unique outlook and view on my own practice and spirituality and witchcraft as a whole, which is a whole nother video. I don't know if that's going to be a podcast episode or just a normal video, but I will be talking about that, especially if you're interested. Let me know if you're interested. But I will be talking about that. My next myth are another common one. All witches are Wiccan. Witchcraft is a very diverse path. Thank you, Potato. Thank you for jumping up on that and making a whole bunch of noise. Yeah, witchcraft is a very diverse path, and there are a plethora of different cultures and belief systems, including hoodoo, brujeria, folk magic traditions from all over the world. Like there's Appalachian folk magic, aka mountain magic, which is something that I'm also interested in. There's Navajo witchcraft that I have heard of, like Native American witchcraft. There's Celtic witchcraft. There's Nordic witchcraft, all of that type of stuff, like Norse paganism, stuff like that. There are so many different like practices and ethics and worldviews within each path, and Wiccan is just one of those branches, one of those paths. My third myth, I explained this earlier. Wait, should I? My third one was witchcraft is inherently evil or involves dark magic only. Um, Many witches, including myself, like we focus on healing, self-growth, protection, and or honoring nature. I personally focus on all of those things, including self-love and healing myself and healing others through my craft, whether that's help getting a job, help getting an opportunity, glamour magic, cleansings, banishings, protections, things like that. I believe in my craft wholeheartedly, and I believe in its power to help myself and others in a positive way because I have experienced the help of my craft firsthand, and so have others. Hence why I had this business. Is this number 4? Yes. Number 4, witchcraft is just crystals and aesthetics. Witchcraft has become super popular and trendy within the media. There are unfortunately a lot of scammers and disingenuous people out there who claim to be witches. I think I've talked about this in an episode on my podcast before. It genuinely upsets me because not only does all of that take away from those of us who genuinely do practice, and who are genuinely invested in this and believe in this, but it also makes it really difficult for business owners like myself, to actually like get like this is gonna sound wow, I can speak. It makes it difficult for business owners like myself, for people to actually like believe in us, trust us and stuff. And I'm not saying that you should just blindly go head first into something. Um, like I always encourage everybody to listen to your gut when it comes to a practitioner. Ask them questions, DM them, like dead ass, like, ask them questions about their process and everything. It doesn't even matter if the question sounds silly, ask them. Check their reviews. Dead ass, don't go to a practitioner that doesn't have reviews. Um, that's just my personal um my personal thing. Since I do have a full-time job, like, I'm not able to do my business as much as I want. I'm not able to do client work as much as I want. A lot of the client work that I do is for people in my personal life, so I do get a lot of feedback personally, like face to face or over the phone. But I do have some reviews on my Instagram that you can check out if you are interested and you want to know more about that. But also, like, when you're asking them, like, ask for a rundown of what to expect, how you'll get your information, what to expect, when to expect your spell or your reading. Don't be afraid to stay updated with your practitioner. Like, if you booked with them after you talked to them, after you were like, you know what, this is the person I want to go with, that this works for me, like, stay updated. Okay. Um, Usually, if I am doing a working for somebody, like a spell working for somebody, I will keep them updated myself through emails. With readings, it's really simple. You book it and you get it within 24 to 72 hours. There's really no updating unless it goes over the 72-hour mark. Rarely it ever does. Um, but yeah, just those are just a few things to, like, actually ensure that who you are planning on booking with is actually legit and actually knows what the fuck they're doing. The fifth myth that I have here is you can't balance benevolent and baneful magic. Bullshit. Bullshit, because if you're just practicing solely baneful magic, if you don't have any type of, like, benevolent, or, like, more positive magic within that, my god, you're going to be consumed with so much darkness, so much, like, evil and negativity, and it's eventually going to consume you, dead ass. Like, that's just that's inevitable. That's gonna happen. Many witches practice both. I am educated in baneful magic. I think it's extremely important to be educated about baneful magic, even if you don't practice it, because I myself do not practice baneful magic because I'm simply not interested in it. The most I will probably ever do is jinx somebody, and then again, I most likely will not even do that. Jinxes, they're very simple. They're very temporary. It's just like, oh, you, like, how do I explain this? Actually, hold on. I My grimoire is sitting right in front of me. Let me pull it out for you because I can't really explain these things off the top of my head, hence why I write down scripts for these so I have a list and I can go off of it so I'm not just fucking rambling my ass off. Give me 1 second. Okay, I found the page. But also, before I read that, like, I don't know if I explained this before, like, just now, but, like, the reason why, like, I say it's really important to be educated in baneful magic is because if you're doing a removal or a binding or anything that involves baneful magic, or you just want to know, like, the signs of baneful magic, it's really important that you know what to look for, what it looks like, the common themes of it and everything, so you know how to counteract it or um remove it or dismantle it correctly and safely as well. Um, God damn potato. Anyways, but a jinx is created with conscious or even subconscious intent. That is that right there is one of the main differences between a jinx and a hex and a curse. A hex and a curse, they are created with conscious intent and tools as well. A jinx, anybody, you don't even have to be a witch. Anybody can cast a jinx on anybody, even if you don't even mean to. Okay? You do not have to be a witch to send out that type of energy and jinx somebody. The primary use of a jinx is like to bring bad luck. It's usually pretty harmless. It's short-lived. It's easy to accidentally jinx others with your thought process. Like you could, like for example, um, say you have like a rude customer. Say you work in customer service, you have a really rude customer, they piss you off, and you're just like, fuck that guy, like, screw him, like, he piss off, blah, blah, blah. That negative energy that you are feeding into that interaction with that person, you're sending it towards that person, that can create a jinx towards that person. And now they have bad luck. Someone's rude to them. They lose their wallet. They trip over their shoelaces. They're they order food and gets delivered to the house and it's wrong. They accidentally get their belt loop caught on like every single door in the household, like every single door handle in the household. Like it's really short, small things like that. Like small inconveniences is basically the most of what a jinx is. But again, like anybody can put a jinx on anybody. Like it's not just a witch thing. Also, baneful magic doesn't just include jinxes, hexes, or curses. Um, there's a whole plethora of things that can be considered baneful magic. But the primary ones are jinxes, hexes, and curses. It also, I have heard from other witches that things like domination magic, which is a whole nother thing. I've heard from other witches that like there's kind of a debate. There's kind of like this debate on whether or not that is considered baneful magic, or if it's considered its own form of magic. Again, I think that's one of those things that it depends on like what your intention is and how you use it, because it's it's not as black and white. Witchcraft itself is so not black and white. There are so many gray areas, and those gray areas are so much bigger than you would think. Um, but and like opinions and views on baneful magic itself always vary. It depends on the individual. Um, Again, like I don't think that if you practice baneful magic, you can't practice benevolent magic, or you can't balance the two. You kind of need to balance the two, but again, that's just my opinion. Life holds both good and evil. Life holds both light and dark. And so it's really necessary that if you're gonna practice baneful magic, you should probably practice benevolent magic as well. But yeah, those are just my views. Um, so, going into the types of magic, this is just like a basic rundown of like what I practice. Um, and this is also a really good list for you to research if that's something that you haven't done yet, or like you don't know what type of magic to research and you're starting out in witchcraft in your little journey and you really want to like understand the types of magic that the types of magic that I practice include, but are not limited to, protection magic, of course, attraction magic, glamour magic, money magic, moon magic, and kitchen magic. Obviously, that's just a short list. I will go into more depths about these types of magic in another video or episode. Um, but if you are starting out in witchcraft, start out with cleansings, banishings, protections, wards, research that, start with that. You want to make sure that you know how to banish. You want to make sure that you know how to cleanse and protect and ward any and all unwanted energy. It is vital. It is a must. You must perfect those things. Okay, maybe not perfect, that might be dramatic, but you really want to make sure that you know those things and you know what you're doing when it comes to those things, before you start any other type of magic, before you even do deity work. Okay, I may sound like kind of a Debbie Downer, because I see that there are so many like baby witches out there who want to start out doing all of the heavy stuff, and it's like, if you cannot grasp a basic understanding of the basics in witchcraft, you're gonna screw yourself over. Every single witch who has been doing this for years, decades even, who started out doing the heavy stuff, they always tell you from experience, learn how to do the basics first. You're going to save yourself so much trouble, so much time, so much energy by just learning how to do the basic banish, cleanse, protect, and ward. And these skills and knowledge are going to be useful, and you will use them when you go and dive into other parts of magic, into other forms of magic. Like I use the 4 basics whenever I do any spell, regardless of what the intention is. Regardless of what the intention is. So yeah. So witchcraft, it's honestly, it's just another religion, or another like a spirituality. It's also a lifestyle, really. But it's not inherently evil. It's not something that you should be constantly afraid of, you know. And it's not worshiping the devil most of the time. There are witches out there who do that, but most of the time when you encounter a witch, they're not worshiping the devil. They probably don't even believe in the devil. Like myself, I don't believe the devil exists. But witchcraft, in my opinion, it's very enlightening. Through witchcraft, I have learned to gain a new perspective of the world and myself. It has helped me find a new sense of respect for the world around me and for myself. And I feel like it has taught me to see the divinity and the beauty in the smallest things, like even an ant. Like even an ant. Like I have to sneeze. Oh no. Shit. Okay. Anyways, we're good. Bless me. But um like I use the word God and spirit interchangeably. To me, that is the same entity. It just depends on like who I'm talking to, or like what fits the context better. But I through witchcraft, I have learned to see God in everything. Like every living thing, every like tree, plant, animal, person, even like a body of water, even in the weather changes. Like I see God in like everything in the natural world, and it makes it so much more beautiful, and it makes it so much more enchanting and like just magical. And I've also learned how to see God within myself. Not saying like I am God, like I'm saying like there is a piece of God within all of us, and witchcraft has helped me learn that. And I have also told people that witchcraft has helped me grow closer to God. And I feel like ever since I went down this path, I have just learned to grow a bigger appreciation for God and just grow a deeper understanding and connection with God. But yeah, witchcraft is fun. Witchcraft is honestly liberating. It has helped me, like, it's helped me find and develop my own personal power. That's another thing about power. There are witches out there who do use witchcraft to gain power over others. I'm not interested in that. I don't give a shit about you. I give a shit about myself, baby. I'm focused on gaining power over myself, developing my own personal power, developing control over myself and my life. I don't give a shit about yours. You know, obviously, if you ask me for help, and it's to maybe help you get a job, maybe help you get that house, maybe help you love yourself, things like that. Fuck yeah, I'll do that. If I'm helping you in a positive way towards your self-love and your self-growth and growth within your life that's positive and everything, fuck yeah, I'll do that. Excuse me? Of course. No questions asked. But shit, I forgot what I was gonna say. It's also like 11 p.m. I'm so tired. Ugh. But yeah, witchcraft, it's fun. It's fun. Um, from my opinion, from my experience, it's not evil. Or at least the way that I practice it, it's not evil. I don't use it for evil intent. And it can actually be used for a lot of really, really good things. And can help a lot of people, including yourself. So yeah. This episode may have been all over the place, but that's okay. That's just how I am. That's just how I speak. Honestly, y'all should get used to it at this point. Um, but yeah, that will conclude today's episode. Again, if you are interested in booking a reading or a spell work from me, a link to my website will be down below in the description. Um, Other than that, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your morning, afternoon, evening, night, whatever time of day it is when you are listening to this. And I hope to see you next week. Blessed be.